Hi, everybody. Now they can see us and hear us.
Hooray!
Huzzah! Hello, hello, hello.
Ah,
Welcome to
it's
the
six
show.
o'clock.
It is. It's 6 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah, he's in the other room.
A- Actually, I think it was 10 o'clock. Do you remember that
It
public
was?
service announcement?
Nope.
Did you
I,
ever?
I, I,
Did you ever? Yeah. It's ten
I was
o'clock.
never
Do
up
you
that
know
late.
where your children are?
I grew up without television. Remember?
Well, that's
Did they?
true.
Did they?
You
Did they do that on the radio?
you were raised by parents, you weirdo, not TV.
It's raised by people who didn't have much money. Okay.
Well,
And it was after. I don't know why our house didn't have an antenna, but it didn't have an antenna, and they didn't want to. They decided not to put money into putting one up, and we could not afford cable. Gravy. Cable's always been expensive. Stupid.
yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, no PSAs for me. Although I do
Well.
think I was around for the egg one.
Oh
This is
yes.
your brain.
This is your brain on
This is your
drugs.
brain on drugs.
Now,
Any questions?
now, do you remember?
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes.
Over easy, over medium, over hard, sunny side up, or scrambled?
Are you asking about my brain or about how I like my eggs?
Oh, you like your eggs. Your brain is definitely
Um,
scrambled.
if oh, nice, nice. Um,
Oh, you didn't see that coming? That would seem obvious to me, but okay, go
if
ahead.
I'm order,
Hello,
if
everybody.
I'm Hi, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us. You're watching the chit chat portion of the show. We will be watching Deep Space Nine to the death in a little bit. So go ahead and cue it up if you haven't already. But
Woo!
anyway, so if I'm ordering eggs from a restaurant and somebody else who presumably knows what they're doing is going to cook them, then I order them usually over medium. However, if I cook them myself,
Mm-hmm.
um, I usually go for sunny side up because that's just easier. Um,
It is?
for me, it is. Yeah, because I don't
Okay.
want to. My greatest fear is breaking the yolk. And even though I mean, I can do an over medium egg, and it comes out probably 8 times out of 10. But there's that 20% where I break the yolk, and I'm like, no. You know, so I play it safe, and I control the heat, so that it doesn't burn on the underside before the top is
Mm-hmm.
done, and I do sunny side up, and then and I'm not like super squeamish. Like if the white is still a little tiny bit runny, that's okay. Like I
Runny
prefer
is
it to be.
fine, but clear.
Yeah, oh yeah, no. I mean, I prefer it to be solid, but if it's not quite there yet, I'm okay with that because I usually dip toast into the yolk anyway, so like you know, it doesn't really
That's
bother me
nice.
as long yeah. But
I like a little
yeah.
yolk that's just a little bit like it's mostly creamy and a little bit runny, which is one of the reasons that I like doing soft boiled because then I
Oh,
can
sure.
peel them and then I like I've gotten a thing for like toasted rice cakes. Like rice cakes are already pretty crispy, but like toasted, oh, they're
Oh
just like
yeah.
so light. And so yeah, I'll break it onto a rice cake and then like salt it or maybe put some cheese on it while it's still warm so the cheese melts a little bit.
Yeah. And by the way, Vernon says team scrambled. Nothing wrong with a good scrambled egg. I
Mhm.
mean, I love scram. I love scram. I'll if I'm because usually here's a little insight into my diet that nobody asked for, but here you go. Um, I usually don't eat breakfast during the week. Um, on the weekends, I eat breakfast, and it's usually egg based in some way. So I'll make eggs and toast, or I'll make like an egg sandwich with a toasted bagel or something like that. But it's usually egg based.
Or you'll order
And
eggs
what
and pancakes.
Sometimes if I order breakfast, usually I try to make breakfast for myself, but sometimes I'll order breakfast from someplace. But yeah, so sometimes I'll go with like, I mean, if I'm making like an egg sandwich, I'll usually do a scrambled egg because it's just easier that way. Although, what I really like, it's messy, but what I really like is do an over medium egg or like a sunny side up egg, so you still have the runny yolk. Do two of them, and then
Mm-hmm.
put them in between a toasted bagel, and
Mm-hmm.
then cut it in half so the yolk runs out. I mean, it's messy to
Yeah.
eat because the yolk's all over your hands, but oh my
But
god, it's
that's half the
delicious. And
fun.
toasted bagel with runny yolk, egg in the middle. Oh my god, delicious.
Mm.
Absolutely divine.
HB Haga,
Yeah.
hard scramble. Hard scramble. Oh. The like I love cream.
Hard but not dry.
Oh yeah.
Hard but not dry.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and not like and not burnt. I mean,
Well, obviously, but yeah.
but like the idea of like adding cream so it's like kind of they seem soupy to me. Ugh. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you're right. Like the Gordon Ramsay recipe. I mean, like
No,
it just
no,
that's that. I mean, I
no.
wouldn't turn my nose up at it, but it's not how I prefer it. I mean, yeah, my scrambled
It
egg recipe is it is as
eggs.
dead simple. It's as dead simple as it can possibly be. It's eggs and just a little bit of water. Like just, I mean, just like a splash. Like turn the water on and just run. I'll have like a measuring, like a a 2 cup mixing cup that I beat the eggs in, and then turn the faucet on and just like a dash of water to
Mhm.
fluff it up a little,
To help to
and
help fluff it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's it. That is, and then and salt and pepper once it's in the pan, and that's it. Like
I
that's
will say
it.
sometimes I mix it up and add like a smidgen of cheese.
Now, do you do it like on top like an omelet, or do you beat the cheese into the egg like when you're
Depends how I'm feeling. I've done
okay?
both.
Okay, I mean, I've done both too, but I usually if I'm doing like if I'm not using the egg in like a sandwich, but I'm still scrambling it, I'll usually just make an omelet. Like it's been a while since I just did like proper scrambled eggs where like you're stirring it around and like you get like,
The
fluffy
fluff.
scrambled eggs. Like
Yeah.
usually if I scramble the egg in the bowl and then pour it in, if I'm not using it, if I'm not making like something to put in a sandwich, then, I'm making like an omelet.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll put some cheese
Yeah.
on it or something and fold it
Yeah.
over.
Something.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the I what I don't do is like there's like when I get an omelet, often at like a restaurant where they like make it in front of you, they'll like make the egg part of it so that it's like it's done and it's scrambled and it's like flat, and then they just
Mhm.
put the toppings inside it and it's like an egg burrito. I'm like, that's not what I want. I want the bottom to set, then you put the toppings in, then you fold it
Right.
over so that it's incorporated. I'm like,
So that's,
okay.
yeah.
I'm like
So that the
that
egg is, so it's not just stuff inside a rolled up egg. Like
folded
the egg,
inside
yeah.
done eggs. Like it's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you said, it's not a burrito. It's not it's an egg. It's not a tortilla. It's an egg.
Yes, thank you. I
Yeah.
just
No, I'm with you.
and I guess I wouldn't. I also wouldn't turn my nose up at the soft scrambled eggs if someone was making them for me or if someone had made them for me. But if I was at a breakfast buffet and that's how the eggs were, I would go past them and I would get something else. I would not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't scoop it up.
Well, and like most eggs, most scrambled eggs at a buffet are pretty well done. I mean, you don't usually see you don't usually see like loose scrambled eggs at a buffet because it just I just don't think that would fly.
Well, I think safety precautions.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
being concerned that people would complain even if they were safe. That this might not be safe.
Right. Right. And yeah, Liz, I've done it that way before too. Where you do, I mean, I've made scrambled eggs that way. You just put some. I usually cook with olive oil. Although I mean, butter's great too. But like, just put whatever your lubrication medium is in the pan and heat it up, and then just crack the eggs right into the pan and stir them up with the spatula. Sorry, Vilcata. Well, we took a couple weeks off a few weeks ago, but we've been back, I think, for like the last 3 weeks.
I know that's what he said. He misses the next several.
Oh, I see. Well, sorry about that. It's all Dana's fault.
I have a life and Steve doesn't. So
how dare you?
You didn't see that one coming either.
How dare you? How dare you? I invite you onto my channel. I share with you the best Star Trek show. Shit.
I mean, you say, I'm going to do it. You say the best Star Trek show. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
that is a high bar for a limbo contest.
Wow. I mean, look, as someone who has loved Star Trek his entire life, you will never hear me seriously argue that it is high art, you know. But when it's good, it's pretty good.
And like the little girl, when it's bad, it's horrid.
When it's bad, it's horrid. Uh, Vernon with
I love that
the
one.
James Bond scrambled egg order: eggs, chicken, scrambled hard.
Oh, I was thinking it was Picard. Eggs,
Eh,
chicken, scrambled hard.
eggs, chicken, scrambled
Scrambled
hard.
hard. Well, they both sound, Englishy.
You know what I have I have a Patrick Stewart impression that is lousy, but that I take great delight in doing.
Which is half the fun.
Which is half the fun. Hey, 25580. And my phrase that I say to kind of calibrate it to get into the voice, because with certain impressions, like you have to say a certain line to kind of get the voice into
Mm-hmm.
your throat. And my Picard impression or my Patrick Stewart impression is based on there's a line that Captain Picard says in one of the episodes that was just the backdrop for the episode of the Ensign's Log that we just recorded that has not yet been released, but will be released
Woohoo!
next week. Not that it matters because our episode has
Oh, it
nothing
was
to
the
do
one
with
with the
the Star
head.
Trek episode.
The one
But
with the head.
yeah, the
I
one with the
remember
head.
that.
Yes, the one
I
with the head.
remember things.
So in that episode, it's a two-parter, and in that episode, the Enterprise crew goes back in time to San Francisco in the 1890s, right? And they're staying at a boarding house. And of course, they don't have money to pay the rent at the boarding house. So Patrick Stewart, Captain Picard, has been trying to sort of charm the landlady into letting them stay, even though they're like so many weeks behind on their rent. And one of the ploys that he resorts to is he concocts this fiction that actually he and all of these people, his crew that are in this flat with him, they're a troupe and they're putting on a play. And, and actually they're putting, I think they're putting on Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh boy.
And he tells his landlady, he says, "Oh, you would be perfect for Titania. You would be perfect for Titania. Would you come in and would you please just read with us?" And he hands her a book and he points out what line, and she gives a reading of this line. And it's like, I mean, it's nothing. Like she reads it and it's completely unremarkable in every way. But of course, everybody has to pretend that it was brilliant. And everybody applauds and they put it over like she just gave this great performance. And he says, "Mrs. Carmichael, surely you can't be completely inexperienced on the stage." And she says, "Well," and she says something like she did a play in school or something. And Patrick Stewart says, "Well, there you are." And that's my phrase that I say.
Well,
Well, there you are.
Ever gets the opportunity to voice Kermit the Frog,
Miss Piggy.
There you
Piggy.
are.
There you are.
Oh. Boy.
Yes, Philip. She calls him Mr. Pickard. Mr. Pickard.
Oh,
Rent
wow.
is due at 2:00 on Tuesday. It is now 2:00 on Thursday.
I shall gladly repay you Thursday for
a hamburger today. Oh, shit. David, so would I. Pigs in Space, man. They need to do Pigs in Space, the series. Because that was the Muppets Star Trek spoof. Pigs in Space. That's what they need to do.
So, speaking of rent,
please,
my dad has a little skit that he does.
Oh?
Involving a tissue.
Oh, God. Okay.
You have to twist the tissue so it does this. You must pay the rent. But I can't pay the rent. You must pay the rent. but I can't pay the rent. Then I shall foreclose and throw you out. I'll pay the rent. My hero! Curses foiled again.
That's cute.
There's
Cute.
my theater.
There was a Simpsons episode where they did like a fantasy episode where the Simpsons had like within the show, the Simpsons had a TV show and got famous, and then they split up and went their separate ways. And one of the things that Homer did after their show was he went to the stage and he got a part on a revival of the musical Rent as the landlord. And when Homer comes into when Homer comes into the scene in Rent, he's playing the landlord like a character from like a melodrama. So he comes in with the you know the mustache and the top hat and the coat, you know, and his song is "Where is the rent? I must have the rent." So
I'm so glad.
oh, sorry, 255 AD. I didn't read every single word of what you said. I just saw that you were here. You've been dealing with crippling anxiety all day because I saw Trump was super ahead in the polls. Well, listen to this. Okay. Here's a little comfort for you. Okay. For anybody who's freaking out because Trump is ahead in the polls. We had actual elections yesterday, not polls, but actual elections that Democrats did extremely well in. And the polls that Trump is ahead in, first of all, it's over a year before the election.
Also,
So,
they ain't even had the primary yet for Republicans.
They haven't even had the primary yet. It's a year till the election. And those polls are national polls. And national polls for presidential elections in the United States don't mean shit. Because
especially
it's
this
not
far in advance.
Especially this far in advance. But I mean, even in general, because
Hillary was pulling ahead.
Well, there's that, but also, but the reason why national polls don't mean shit is because technically our presidential election is not a national election. It is 50 separate state elections. The president is not whoever wins the nationwide popular vote. Otherwise, Hillary would have been the president. The president is whoever wins the electoral college, and electoral votes are awarded on a state by state basis. So, you know, I understand freaking out about like the prospect of Trump being president again. That's completely reasonable. But, you know, Biden trail and also Biden is the incumbent, and the incumbent always trails, you know, like a year out from an election. Like incumbents frequently, you know, poll poorly because they've been president for.
And yet, ironically, you know, they often win elections.
Yeah.
Incumbency bonus is big.
So,
which is why it's so cool that Trump lost. I mean, actually, no. The real reason that it's cool that Trump lost is just that Trump lost. So
this Trump wasn't president anymore. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying relax and don't worry about it, but it's not like a hair on fire, sky is falling, all is lost situation because you know Trump is ahead in a couple of national polls.
Trust me, there are plenty of other things to actually like other more dangerous problems to be concerned about right now. That is, you know, that's a problem for future us.
Exactly.
But hopefully, I mean, you know, the people in your life, remind them to check their voter status.
Absolutely.
And, you know, be aware of where their polling place is. Shoot, make a plan now for next year. How are you going to get there? What are you going to do to celebrate the fact that you voted? We get vonuts, we call them.
Vonuts, yes. Well, yeah, which because yesterday, because you were one of the states that had elections yesterday, and you voted, and then you got vonuts.
We voted. We had no candidates, literally no candidates in our. There were some places nearby that had like city or you know other local elections. We did not. We got to vote on a special tax that would be the proceeds of which would be used for, you know, paving roads and dealing with transportation type stuff. So public transportation stuff. So yeah, absolutely. I'm very. I mean, I don't think of myself as like there was somebody recently who described themselves as fiscally conservative, and I got thinking about that, and I'm like, I'm fiscally conservative in a practical way, but I mean, it just means I'm cheap.
I
Like,
mean, if you're fiscally conservative in your own private life, meaning like you stick to a budget and you try not to spend money you don't need to spend and blah, like that, nothing wrong with that. If you're fiscally conservative in terms of like public policy and how the government should conduct business, blah, 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 then that's just another way of saying you're an asshole. I'm tired of people being afforded respect because they are they say, well, I mean, I'm not a social conservative, but I am a fiscal conservative. Shut up. You're an asshole.
well, but
You're a
but
fucking
they're
asshole.
they're
You want
typically
poor people
not,
to
because
starve.
things like means testing are fiscally wasteful. Like,
Well,
you
yeah,
spend
yes,
more,
yes,
and
yes.
that's what I'm like. I don't think we're using that term in the same way.
But people who apply that label to themselves.
Exactly,
That's what I'm saying.
exactly. And I'm
People
just
who
like,
apply and it's treated with respect by a lot of people. Like, well, he's a fiscal conservative. Well, then he's a fucking asshole. Fuck him. What? Name me one good fiscal conservative policy that actually helps people. Oh, wait, there isn't one. Fuck that guy.
well, yeah, because the fiscally conservative policies usually aren't. Like,
That's what. Yeah, yeah.
it's so much less expensive to invest in our communities than to, clean up after the messes that we create by not investing in our communities and like punishing people, spend money punish. Like, that's what fiscal conservatism is. It's like wasting money punishing people because we want to do that.
Oh,
Because,
I agree.
oh
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
yeah,
right. Yeah.
thank you, Steve. Liz, not quite. Constant vigilance. Relaxed is inaccurate, but understandably so. I do try to give that veneer, because if I showed what I'm actually like, people say that I'm kind of terrifying. So, but yeah, just all the time.
Yeah.
I was talking to the student about that last, it was Thursday. And because it was towards the end of the day. We finished up with the lesson. She had finished her work, and we were talking about family and stuff, and she asked, "What stresses you out in school?" I said, "Honestly, you guys." And she kind of chuckled. She said, "Our grades," and I said, "Yeah, but not for the reason that you think." I said, "I wish that English class was the most important thing that you stressed out about, because when it's not, that means there's something that is really important that is stressing you out, and it's not just your English class grade. Like, you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe you have a parent or other family member who lost a job, and now you're not sure. People are grown-ups worried about how they're going to be paying bills, and that's not something that you have a lot of control over. Somebody who doesn't show up for 3 days straight, have they been evicted? Are they really sick? Did they break a bone? I mean, all of these are happening. Generally, I know that they're not dead, because we find out about that pretty quick. So there's that. But
That's comforting.
When have their friends stop talking to them because of rumor that's going around? When people start moving around differently, when they go quiet in class, when they used to be chatty, or when they start being boisterous and acting up. That doesn't happen for no reason. And she said, "You notice all that?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I'm paying attention to everything all the time. Constant vigilance. That's why teaching is so exhausting." Because it's the broken windows idea, the idea that you address little problems before they can escalate into like big problems as much as you can, because sometimes it's just they come in and they're already escalated, and then it's just like, okay,
yeah.
we're gonna go down and we're gonna talk to administration. This is no longer my circus. So yeah, and I'm just like, it's so tiring, but you're just like on, and it's intense all the time.
Well, what do you say we
No,
take a
no
break and
sequence
watch?
77. Yeah, sorry. Yes, right after this. So no sequence
Okay, okay.
77. Pay attention before they get dysregulated so that as they begin to dysregulate, you can, hopefully redirect, and if not, remove.
Now let's watch some Star Trek, shall we? Are you ready to go? Are you all
I
queued
think
up?
I'm ready. Actually, let me go ahead and play, and then I'll
If
rewind.
you're watching along
Okay.
with us on if you're watching along with us on Paramount Plus, it is season 4, episode 23, To the Death, or wherever you happen to be watching the episode, or by whatever means. Go ahead and make sure it's queued up and that you are paused at 0000, like Dana is confirming that she is right now.
Yes.
Do you want to tell the people how this works?
Oh yeah, I get to explain it because Steve gets to do the thing because it's his channel. So there is a status bar up here. So if you get out of sync, you can just look at those numbers. But it's
Correct.
not like you have to be exactly on because it's all just kind of the same thing. So you don't have to be exactly on because there's also the 30-second delay. Means that
Mhm.
we won't be exactly synced up. So have your finger over the little button where the play thing is, so that when Steve says 3, 2, 1, play, when he says play, we all press play and we all start at the same time.
There you go.
There we go.
So here we go. I will count us in from 3, 3, 2, 1, play, and then we'll watch this baby, Deep Space
Yeah.
Nine, to the
Yeah,
death.
baby.
Yeah,
Dun, dun,
baby.
dun.
All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Whoa, my captions are weird.
Is everything okay, Dana?
Do you have captions on? My captions
Yeah.
are weird. They were like going from the bottom to, that was centered,
Oh,
go to bottom top. It was weird.
weird.
I have a blister on my. Ate the first piece of pizza before it was too hot. When it was too hot. It's so hard to resist. He's bigger than you.
He's going to beat your ass.
I like this episode already.
Extra large. That's an extra large? Oh, I guess maybe for a prune juice.
Don't look up. Don't look up. He's narrowing his eyes at war.
Ah, see,
Just like
he pussed out, but he tried to be cool while he did it.
and it didn't
Ah,
work.
that's what you get, Worf. Oh, chug the prune juice, dude. Don't just leave it there.
Chug, chug, chug. Aw.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm Clone of Jonathan, I'm sorry. Your bootleg booze was one of the casualties.
It's it couldn't be saved.
We did all we could, sir. So, okay, so
hmm
the gem. No, I
The
ain't got it. I got
Jem'Hadar.
nothing.
The
Yeah,
Jem'Hadar.
I heard it, but which ones are they? They're
They're
not
the
the. We were most recently dealing with like the people who were grumpy because Starfleet let the Cardassians take the planet that
that's the
they had
Maquis.
settled
Yeah,
on.
that's the
That's
Maquis.
the Maquis. That's a different
They're
group.
they're mostly humans. Yeah. No, the
The
Jem'Hadar
Jem'Hadar
the
are like
Jem'Hadar
people who
are the
live through the
scalies.
wormhole, and they don't want the other people to come through, so they're fighting us so that
Yes,
we won't come through.
the Jem'Hadar are the scary, spiky, like scaly guys who work for the Dominion, or like the well, you'll see them. They're in the episode. I
Right,
mean,
right.
yes, but we have seen
And
them
they're like
before.
the Dominion runs the galaxy in the
The
other
gap on yeah on the other side of the wormhole. Yes. Snake Pit Cat with a gem joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was Gem for one Halloween when I was in college.
you were. Were you
Yes.
truly, truly, truly outrageous?
It was really cool. I had like shiny mini dress. I think my boots were the wrong color just because that was all I could afford because it was in college. And then I had pink hairspray and teased like
Well, yeah,
nobody's
there you go.
business. It was not, however, layered. It was just the hair that I had. I didn't
Well,
cut
you
it
know,
right,
as long
so
as
it
it
wasn't
comes
like,
across, right?
oh yeah. And I had the big star earrings. I got
Well, yeah,
some of the the stars to stick on the wall, the glow in the dark ones,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I painted them pink and put earring backs on them. So they were big. 26 is an interesting choice. I mean, do they have a 26-hour day there? Like, is that what he's saying? Or
Yeah, the station has a
okay.
26-hour day.
Okay. Just a reminder, we're in space, we're not on Earth. BT dubs. This isn't the vessel you're looking for. Okay, Admiral Akbar. But they're not on Bejor. They're on space. Okay, I guess they're just making do. Engage. can do that. I'm great at that. Your psychographic profile said you would say that.
We're just having fun. Come on, man.
Oh, is this the fan favorite character?
Yes, it is. This is Wei Yun.
It'll cost you.
$5. Of course, they're iconic. What am I saying?
He enunciates very well. Oh. They're having an enunciate-a-thon. Photonic amplifiers. The nature of our dilemma. Virtually invincible.
The Diction Twins.
We put the dick in diction.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
Think about it, man. You can just tell me. Just bottom line it.
Genetically engineered to obey them.
To obey them.
Iffy. Potato. Blah, blah, blah. Floofy, Caitlin. I ain't agreeing to nothing, Bob.
Oh, you're quite large, aren't you? So yes, Wei Yun is the breakout character that I was mentioning.
Stay on target. Eliminate them and their base. I'm loving the singingness of his, like, every line this episode. They're not going to find out anything. There we go.
You guys are the worst.
He has a tube. They all got tubes. Is that the way
They all
he
got
was
tubes.
talking about? You get your drugs.
Yeah, they all got tubes.
I'm the first. You're the first. I'm the first. Me. Dun, dun, dun. You're dismissed when I say so. Okay, now you're... Or...
Change my mind. You're not dismissed anymore. Come back.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
Exactly.
Oh, good job with the arithmetic, guys.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Because reasons. Oh, yeah. That
it's torpedo proof.
Neutronium.
Yeah, it's torpedo proof.
Ah, the beat.
I'm just pretty based. Worf. Impotent, what have you heard? Shake hands and say you're sorry.
I don't care who started it. I'm going to finish it.
Go to your room, Worf.
All right. Look, you're sitting over here now. You're sitting over there. All right. Stay in your assigned seats.
Yeah.
Sit down now.
Oh, yeah. Ah, yes, it's
No,
the
I'm
Worf breaks bad and kills everybody episode. That's going.
oh 255. No, that yeah, that's all stereotypical stuff. It's more it's not so much that it doesn't matter who started it. It's I'm not talking to who started it. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is this particular action. This is not an okay response to what happened. What is a more appropriate response? What can you do if you're in a similar situation? Wow, that sucks. Well, I mean,
Oh,
I guess they're fine
checkmate.
with that. I guess they're fine with that, according to what you said.
This is a homicide mission. I want to make that clear.
Excuse me. Oh,
I'm tired of this shit already. I just. Oh, grumpy way you. Well, then you shouldn't be having sex anyway. Over 21. A moisturizing routine is really important.
Mr. I love the answer. I like that. Actually, it shouldn't be Mother's Day. It should be Birther's Day, shouldn't it? I mean, fruit. Like, you got to fight over those strawberries. You want the best ones. Are there such things as good ones? It is time. Okay, now I say it's time.
I'm on my fucking lunch break.
Fine.
Boy, those Jem'Hadar have fancy lunch boxes.
Yeah, Caitlin is kind of like high schoolers and the Pledge to Allegiance in American schools. Blah, blah, blah. You're awfully talky after you got your milk.
Well, unlucky for you, my name's in the opening credits. It's always you, Brian Thompson.
Yeah.
Get that corpse out of here. Or you get some joy out of it, but
Did you? Seems like a waste of resources to the rest of us.
well, I'm glad we have an understanding. Are you going to just leave him there, or should I throw him out? What do you want me to do with him? Hey.
Da, da, da.
Oh, God, I was
You
just
just
going to the
did.
John. Please leave me alone. I'm your biggest fan.
People.
Please give me an order.
Please, please, please. Yeah, and that's not what I want. So I order you to shut up. Ah. Can't a man take 5 minutes in a bucketed pace around here? I know the truth, and it shocks me.
That's right, LeVar. Push that camera in. You wound me, sir.
You're still, it's over. That means you ain't talking no more, dude.
Bye.
I am ready to go home. I simply choose not to.
25580, calm down, dude. Just because I don't like jump right on your messages and respond.
We're
Jesus
watching the
Christ.
episode.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is an interesting contradiction.
And it
She probably
should.
she probably wouldn't care. I mean, it's basically over between us.
I gotta know.
No. I record a message for my wife every time I leave on a dangerous mission. Clearly, I don't believe it. Well, I just reuse the same one. I mean, who's going to know? I want to raise.
So thoughtful. Are they particularly, do they have like sneak attack bonus? So look, if you don't want to make me a murderer, like don't get dead.
I mean, Worf is pretty good at killing people back. Like, if you kill someone he cares about, he will kill you back. One gun,
I'm
please.
waiting.
Well,
He likes to fuss.
exactly, Juan. Ask Duras. Worf kills people back.
Woohoo!
Their religion is dumb. I love alien planets that look exactly like Earth. I
It's a
mean,
very
I say
exciting
that with
moment.
all I say that with all sincerity. I love it. Fight with our hands. Karate.
Move faster. Good plan. Well, find him.
Yeah, where'd he
Gee.
go?
Rude.
Worf left his sash on the ship. Excuse me, one side.
Fighting,
Pardon me.
fighting.
Coming through. I like how Dax stabbed him and it made him jump back. Mr. I Love the Ants, it's shirts and skins.
Oh, you don't say that.
Oh, yeah. Let's bomb some shit.
We got a job to do.
Sweet. Kill them all. I brought a snack. Whoops. Hair trigger. Party time. Azalea, I know. What a shame that we'll never see Wayun again. The end.
Dun dun
So, thoughts?
Very, very action oriented episode.
Sort of,
And
yeah.
I was kind of confused. I missed why he shot the dude. I didn't get it. I didn't get
Why he
that
shot
like at
Wayun?
all.
For
Yeah.
questioning their loyalty, he said.
Did he say something that I missed just
Probably.
then?
You talked a lot during the episode, Dana.
But so it was before.
I think it was earlier, yeah. Yeah. And Vilcata, yeah,
So
I don't know how they're going to handle that. Apparently, yeah, maybe there's another way to open it, or they're just gonna crack it open,
just like smack it real hard.
like Janelle Monáe opened the puzzle box in Glass Onion. Just took a
There
hammer and
you
just
go.
just beat the top of it open.
So okay, still so wasn't he like their handler kind of? Weren't they supposed
Yeah,
to
he
be
was like, yeah,
loyal?
yes,
So because he expressed uncertainty about their loyalty, they didn't have to be loyal? That like
well, I mean,
is that the
you
logic?
you saw him. He was
Okay.
a dick. Fuck him.
So an oath of loyalty only applies if you like the person. Okay.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck him.
Okay. Well, that's certainly useful for the commander and all
Yeah,
the
there you
them
go.
Federation folks to know. That's super helpful.
Vilcata explains. He questioned their loyalty by lying to them about the reason for the mission because he was afraid they'd rebel and use it. So there you go. He didn't trust them.
Okay. So they're just allowed to. Okay.
You're hung up on the fact that they're supposed to be
Well,
loyal, but then they weren't.
no. But like they're hung up on following orders until like they're not. Like
Well, I mean, the guy. I mean, the
on
whole
their
reason they
on
were
their little hierarchy thing.
the whole reason they were doing the mission is because some other Jem'Hadar decided they weren't going to be loyal anymore and rebelled. So I mean, clearly it's possible.
So it's okay for them to rebel against him. Okay.
Well, it's not
So
okay. I'm just saying it's possible. Like it's within
yeah,
the realm of possibility. Like
yeah.
just because they're
But
not
so they
supposed
were
to doesn't mean they won't.
okay. So like, but they were so upset about being thought to like be rebellious, but then they killed him, which was an act of rebellion. I'm just saying it seems
Well, but
contradictory.
their loyalty is ultimately to the founders, not to the
That
Vorta.
dude.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
I mean, so minor spoiler, but we've kind of joked about it already. Wei-Yun
Okay.
does come back. Wei-Yun does come back
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
future episodes.
Yeah. I
Um,
guess.
and becomes like a recurring character in some of the later seasons. And the thing about Wei-Yun that you get a little taste of it in this episode, but actually like there's only little flashes of this element of the character in this episode. But I wanted to watch this episode because this is his introduction. And honestly, if not for that, I probably would have skipped this one because I really don't think this is that great of an episode. Um,
Hmm.
but it's important because it introduces Wei-Yun and he becomes important. But what makes Wei-Yun a great character is he's a middle manager, and there are so
Yeah.
few villains so few memorable villains in especially in like fantasy and sci-fi that are they're not the big bad, they're the middle bad.
The middle
He's
bad.
the middle manager. He's the and yeah, and you get a little bit of that like when he talks to Odo, but not much. But that's what's great about Wayne is that he's so smarmy and so obsequious and such a toady when, he's talking to someone above him. But when he's talking to someone below him, oh, he's the boss. He's the hard ass. You better do what he says. You know,
So
he's great. Yeah, 255 AD, we're
so
okay.
okay. So that didn't kill him. Did dude know that didn't kill him?
I didn't say it didn't kill him. I just said he comes back.
He comes back. Whatever. Fine.
But no, like I mean, yeah, one thing that I find interesting about the episode is like because I mean I think it's accurate what you said. You said it's a very action oriented episode.
Mm-hmm.
It is in terms of the plot, but
Well, in terms of
so
the
much
how much time spend chasing and fighting and things like that.
so much of the episode is waiting for the action to happen. And there's and just it feels like it's very exposition heavy, and there's a lot of it that I mean like as much as I like that scene when O'Brien and Dax are talking and O'Brien's like, I recorded a message for my wife just in case I die, right? That's like a nice little character scene. but also it really feels like padding. It feels like, oh, we don't have enough plot to fill 45 minutes. We need something else. Let's just do this, you know? And yet,
Mm-hmm.
but then the ending feels so abrupt. So it feels like it's a really poorly
Yes,
paced episode
yeah.
in terms of the way it's
Well, the ending, yeah, the ending. It feels like it's, oh, and now we're done, and there's no resolution. It
right.
it it ends at the end of the downward action, the falling action. It just stops.
Yeah.
There's no sense of completion. There's no sort of callback to earlier moments. Nothing. It just
Exactly. Yeah.
stops.
It feels
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's an it's a plot heavy episode. It feels padded, and yet somehow it also feels like at the end they ran out of time. But how
See,
can you
David
run
C.
out of
Drake.
time if it's so heavily padded? But anyway,
So David C. Drake. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, did the dude who shot him know that it was really like? He's like, that was for questioning our loyalty, but essentially it's just like smacking him upside the head. Don't know yet. Don't really
all
care,
I'll
actually,
say is
but okay.
all I'll say is Wei Yun comes back.
Okay, fine. Um, yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm not super invested, so
Yeah.
the pacing didn't bother me. So
It just I'll tell you, I
it,
mean,
it
I when I this is something that I've noticed about myself is when I am watching something and I notice how long the scene's been going on, then it feels like the episode is starting to lose me. And even though it has its moments, that scene between Cisco and Wei Un, where you started talking about like how great their enunciation was, that is a long scene. And it's just two guys doing exposition. Like and it goes on and on and on. And especially watching it this time, I was like, this scene's taking a while. you know? Like
um
it's two great actors playing essentially great characters. I mean, Wei Yun maybe isn't a great character at this point, but he becomes one. And Jeffrey Combs, who plays him, is a fantastic actor. But it's just like, whoo, this is taking a while, you know?
so yeah, who said Vilcata, world building. It does feel very established. She like we have we seen the Jem'Hadar before? They've been on camera, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've seen him a couple times
Okay,
up to this point. Yeah.
yeah, but like this is like their big intro, not just Wayun, but like this is the most they've been involved in the episode. To my very
In terms of
cool,
screen time, probably, yeah.
yeah.
Well, of the episodes we've watched, I think there's an episode we skipped that had a lot of Jem'Hadar stuff in it. But yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so I think a lot of it is kind of getting to know you, and so like um I think it would have been better. It would have sort of added, maybe not to the pacing, but to the sense of completion if we'd stopped with Worf, because we have that moment with him in the middle, and then also we have
hmm
that moment with him and Julian at the beginning, and so
that's
you
true.
get that
Yeah,
that sense of it. That is an element of character continuity through the episode that just
yeah,
is just like not returned to.
and that would have helped. Yeah, you're right. If
Mm-hmm.
they would have stuck with Worf a
or
little,
or something
you know,
like actually getting to see Julian, or not Julian, O'Brien recording what he's going to say to Keiko and
Keiko.
Molly.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I guess Molly's still too small, but because essentially, and I think somebody said this in the chat. Essentially, it's pretty much the same thing, or somebody asked, why does he update it anyway? It's the same thing, but it's not, because like as the family changes, you say something a little bit differently. So it's like an update. It's basically the same thing, but it's an update. And so we come in, or Dax comes in on the tail end of that just as he wraps it up, and he says, yeah, just do it. I do one of those, every so often. It's been a little
yeah.
bit since I did that. I keep it on file, you know, just in case.
I
Just in
update it as
case.
needed.
You
255
know.
AD. Yeah, you can 255 AD. Yes, you can ask your thing about Biden. Um, I'll tell you one thing I did appreciate about it. And again, I mean, it's not I still think the episode is not super well constructed in terms of how the story fits
in
together.
terms of the
Um,
craft.
but I do appreciate the fact that when they get at the end of the teaser, um, it feels like it's setting up for like a chase and like a revenge episode because the station has been attacked and Cisco is like, we're going back out and we're going to find him. And it feels like, okay, it's like going to be a revenge episode. And then they throw you a curveball
Yeah,
and it's not a revenge episode at all. It's, oh, something else is going on and we have to do this instead. Now the
yeah,
something else didn't turn out to be super interesting to me, but I like the idea of sort of double crossing the audience and setting up,
yeah.
oh, it's going to be this kind of story, and then it turns out to be a different kind of story. I think that's a solid idea.
So Azalea Jane, I think the idea of, I don't know, the idea of the Jem'Hadar, they're not just combat slaves. They're combat drones, kind of. In that, they are, and we don't really know how much of it, like, if the white stuff was kept from them, would that be seen as a legitimate reason to, rebel or whatever? Would that,
Mhm.
to what extent is it transactional, and to what extent is it, you know, a part of their ideals, and to what extent is it part of their physiology that drives them to want these things? Why, there's so much going on in our brain chemistry and our hormones, and on the way that our physiological bodies are interconnected to cause us to respond to certain stimuli in certain ways. And it's so fascinating. There's so much that we don't know about it, which makes it great for speculative fiction. Why are the Jem'Hadar
Yeah.
this way? We don't know. How much of it is because it doesn't seem like they are forced into it, other than being crafted in this manner.
I mean, they're
They
pretty. You
seem
mean
to be. They seem.
they're
Yeah.
pretty forced
They
into it. I mean, they're bred
they
specifically to
seem
be soldiers.
exactly, but they're bred that way. They're crafted that way. They
Yeah.
are bred so that they will willingly choose this. It's very much like, I mean, I just did the well, just I did the video on Brave New World. Have I put that up?
Yes.
I
No, I
haven't.
haven't
Okay.
edited that yet.
Oh,
I
so
haven't
so it's
edited it
not
yet.
so it's not
It's
up. So
my
I can't
fault.
be like,
It's
go
my
watch it.
fault. It's
Okay,
my
it's
fault.
it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But anyway,
I did a video on Brave New World, and which very much has that sort of, the birthing chambers. They have little test tube babies, and they are, crafted as they are as they develop as embryos and fetuses, to have certain characteristics so that they have aptitudes for certain places where they'll be needed in society. And so then when they're born and they're then trained for those particular jobs, that's the job they want, because that's the job that they're good at, and so doing it feels fulfilling to them, and so it creates this cycle. And so it's the interesting question of how much of something we freely choose is truly a free choice. Does that make sense?
mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
is an interesting question. It's to think about in terms of our world, as well as how it's being explored within the society of the Jem'Hadar. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
255
And epsilons, of course, and exactly, yes.
255 AD says, does the fact that he's doing bad in swing state specific polls change your answer that polls a year out are meaningless? Not really.
No,
Not really. I mean, like I
no.
said, I don't think it's something that you should just ignore and pretend like it doesn't matter at all. But we're a year before the election. We haven't even had the primaries, like Dana said. The actual election campaign, like the actual general election, Biden versus Trump, has not even really started yet. So
He might be in
no,
jail.
it might, yeah. I mean, hey, fingers crossed. But no, I mean, yeah, it it's nothing that I am super worried about at this point. Um, and also, speaking of the Jem'Hadar, one last thing, and then we can do Wordle, and then we can wrap up. But so the name of the drug that that the Jem'Hadar depend on is Ketracel White. That's the full name of it. But
Are we sure
after
that's what it is?
Ketracel White, let me do my joke, please, before
Okay,
running
okay,
over me
okay,
with whatever you have to
okay,
say.
okay. I'm trying to hold on
Jesus.
to it. I'm sorry.
The name of the drug is Ketracel White. All right. But after that one Jem'Hadar revealed to Dax that they don't have sex, I think it should be called Ketra Incel White.
That's
Okay,
pretty
now what
good.
do you now what do you have?
I'm a child of the 80s. Specifically, I was a girl in the 80s. So I was thinking they'd call it the white stuff.
Ah, oh,
oh,
oh, oh, oh,
oh,
oh,
oh,
oh.
oh, the white stuff.
That's and of course
Oh.
if it's the 80s, the white stuff has a different meaning beyond that as well.
Yes. It's not only good,
Especially in
it's not only
showbiz.
good.
Um,
That's showbiz.
so okay.
Oh.
So
Okay, so
shall we
yeah, I
play?
had
Shall
to
we?
hold on to that one.
Yes. No, that was good. That was good. And hey,
Yours
throw
was
up a
good
new
too.
kid. Throw a new Kids on the Block reference at me anytime you want.
I just did. All right, so let's play Wordle.
All right, let's play Wordle. So, for those of you who have never played Wordle with us before, here's the way this works. This is today's Wordle, and Dana is not actually seeing the Wordle board right now. She's only going by my description of it, but she will take the lead and do the suggestions and the guessing and such. And if you would like to play along with us, you can join in as long as you have not solved today's Wordle and you don't know what the answer is. That's the only thing we ask. Like, if you know the answer, please don't give it away. But beyond that, please feel free to throw in your suggestions and your guesses, and we will play together and solve this
And
Wordle
we'll
as a
play
team.
together.
Yeah.
Something,
So
something. Victory. Oh, victory is life, right?
victory is
Yeah.
life,
We're
indeed.
gonna win.
Yes. The
Oh
the
gosh.
stirring yet somber prayer of the Jem'Hadar.
I hope that I
So
did things so bad. Okay.
you're not superstitious, are you?
Well, we have. I just. There's a lot of pressure. Like,
No.
uh-huh.
No.
Like, what if we fail, Steve?
So shall we start with your first starter word?
Uh-huh.
Heart.
Okay.
Heart.
Caitlin is guessing
And
feast. So
feast. Well, it can't be feast
because
because
there's no
heart
E.
heart gives us an A in the wrong place, and that's it. So it can't be feast. No E,
Okay.
no T, and an A, but not where it would be for feast.
Okay.
So
what about lions?
let's do lions.
Throw out the answer. It
Lions.
can't be ghost because we have an A somewhere. Okay.
Okay, Lions gives us some good help here. Lions gives us an I in the right place and an N in the wrong place. So we know it's something I, something, something, something with an A and an N there somewhere. But no L, no O, no S.
Something INA something.
That could be it. It could be it could be something INA something.
It could be vinyl if they spelled vinyl wrong and we had an L.
Probably not the case. So, yeah.
Nope. Piano would be great, but no O.
And also the A can't be there.
Yeah.
The A can't be the third letter.
The A can't be in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, it's so tempting to try to type things in, but I'm just trying to do it in my head. Does IA work? Something IA and something, because N.
Well, it can't be IA because the I is the second letter.
It can't be IA.
It can't be
A. So yeah, I think. Oh gosh, y'all help me out in the chat. Oh, I'm not coming up with anything for that combination though. The something INA something. MINA isn't giving me anything.
No.
Someone's in the Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. That's a name though. That doesn't work. It can't. Yeah, it can't be final. It would be, David, it would be really difficult because then we would need two more we haven't tried U. It could be AINU. Yeah, I'm not getting anything with two more letters on AIN. It could be something I, something, something A as well.
Could it be
Mr.
NI
I Love the
something?
Ants. Yeah, apparently it is. Mr. I Love the Ants, that's not okay.
Well, no, is that just a is that like a giveaway or is that just a suggestion?
No, Mr. I Love the Ants says, I used my cheater site and there's only one word. And
Oh,
then
okay.
said it starts with N.
Oh, okay.
So now we know it starts with N. Don't do that.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What about? Oh, wait a minute.
So it's
There
got to
could be
be
another. There could be another N. What if it's ninja?
that
If
could work.
there
We
there
could
could
have
be two
double.
N's. NINJA.
Well, we've got enough time to this is guess three. And then Azalea Jane says, let's try another word, maybe with some U's that we haven't.
Okay. Oh, did you approve?
Yeah, ninja, dude.
Okay.
Try ninja. Yes.
Okay. You didn't quite say it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
All
apologize.
right.
I thought I had.
All right.
I was
Ninja. NINJA. It is ninja.
Caitlin, yes,
Huzzah!
there's always only one correct answer or correct response that they want, that is the word. But what Mr. I Love the Ant says, given the letters that we had, there's only one English word that uses those letter combinations and has 5 letters. So good for us.
So there.
No spoilers. That counts as a spoiler. FYI.
Yes. How dare you?
Hey.
Hmm?
Calm your shorts, Stephen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm calm. I'm good. I'm good. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great.
We're great. We're great.
I'm great.
And we are so great that Steve is actually going to do another one of these by himself on Friday.
On Friday.
How great he is.
So if you are a channel member or a Patreon patron and you have a
Get
question
those
you want to
questions
ask
in.
me, yeah, you can submit a
Otherwise,
question
it's
ahead of
just
time.
going to be Steve running his mouth on his own ideas. He can't do that.
Wouldn't that be terrible?
He can't, for 2 hours, like come up with his own ideas for 2 hours.
I could easily fill 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, you say that.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it?
No. But I could.
Okay. Lieutenant Junior Grade Johnson.
Oh.
Okay, so you can't prove the absence of ninjas, only their direct presence. Okay, so
exactly.
Yes. So on Friday, Steve will be back on the channel for another live stream called Ask Away. And
yes,
that
indeed.
is because he invites his patrons and channel members to ask questions. So if you are a channel member or patron, you check your email and then you fill out the Google form and you have up to 1,000 characters to ask questions. And Steve will answer the questions. And so get those suckers turned in and then tune back in Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Indeed.
Whatever time that is for wherever you are. And then also, don't forget to, presumably, if you're a member or a patron, you've already done this, but click the button, ding the bell, and all that good stuff. The things that people say to do.
Stuff.
All that stuff. Click those buttons, Don't just do what I tell Steve to do and click all the buttons with one.
I
Click them
was gonna
all.
say,
All the
what you
buttons.
tell me, what you told me at like 40 minutes before showtime today.
I did
We
not
zoomed
tell.
a
I
little
asked.
early. We
I
zoomed a little
asked.
early because you wanted to read some things to me, and you said, "Have you pushed the
I have a
buttons yet? Have
library
you
book.
pushed
It's
all the
really
buttons?"
good. It's really good. It's a collection of Neil Gaiman's nonfiction. So like speeches he's given and talks
Yeah,
and essays and things
and
like that. So
it's good, and you can tell that Neil Gaiman is an incredibly talented writer because he didn't put me to sleep droning on and on about fucking J.R.R. Tolkien.
it's really good. So yeah, but he loves stories and it comes through and
Yes,
he's
indeed.
also really good with words.
Yes, indeed.
So make sure you come back and join in. I and you know, Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
In the chat too. So also, and then of course we plan to be back next week for
That's
another
right.
episode of Trek Actually, but not with Trek. It'll be with Poirot. What are we going to watch next week, Steve?
We are going to watch. Let me check one more time. So last time we watched The Adventure of the Cheap Flat. Next time we are watching The Kidnapped Prime Minister.
Oh my! What are we watching?
Sounds auspicious. What I mean, he's probably not doing all begging for his life, saying, "Please let me go. Oh, I'm the Prime Minister. Please let me go." I don't know why. I don't know why the Prime Minister has that accent, but oi, let me go. I'm the Prime Minister. I gotta get back to Parliament. I'm the leader.
That is next week, and also don't forget. SAG-AFTRA's still on strike. Or no, they have a tentative deal, don't they? But they're still on strike.
Do they?
I thought there was a buzz about it. I swear I saw
there was this buzz a few days ago about they might have been close, but they never actually did. Unless it's happened just today and I haven't heard about it. But as far as I know,
I haven't been much
on strike.
Media today. I've been. What did I do today? I don't even remember.
You taught students at a public school.
Yeah, but then I did something after school.
You went to the park.
I went to the park, but then we had to go and get the pizza because we had forgotten to put it on the grocery list. Because sometimes I don't spread this around, but sometimes I forget things.
Oh my God.
So yes, and Caitlin, I was getting
charitylinks.page.
Charitylinks.page, and then also, of course, the links to how you can support the workers at SAG-AFTRA, and you can support the strikes. Solidarity always. And so charitylinks.page is some of our friends that you can help directly. If you have the financial ability to do so, that would be great. Helping people is always good. I think that's everything.
Yes, it is.
Steve?
I believe so. Yes. So, I'll see you on Friday for Ask Away, and then we'll both see you next week for another Trek Reluctantly. Poirot, and the kidnapped Prime Minister. Oi, they've kidnapped me.
As Caitlin says, the famously working class Cockney Prime Ministers. There's so many of them to choose from.
Exactly. You don't know which one I'm doing. Could be Neville Chamberlain. Could be
Wilbur Wright,
Churchill. Wilbur Wright, the Prime Minister. I've had the airplane with my brother.
Alternate universe in which Neil Gaiman wrote The Lord of the Rings.
Me and my brother. Oh, so it was readable. Anyway,
No, you still wouldn't like it because remember.
That's right, because he said he wanted to just copy it. Yeah.
Retype it. He was 12, okay?
Everybody has their blind spots.
Okay, Vilcata, we will look forward to seeing you.
Yes.
Thanks so much, everybody. I had fun. The episode was, it's all right, but hanging out with you guys, that was nice.
See you next time, everybody.
Bye.